Good morning and welcome to your practice today. My name is Swami Kandalayananda, and if you have reached this video on YouTube, you can check out my full website of services on mindfuljourneys.biz. So let's go ahead on over to our yoga mats and get started. So what I like to do is design a practice that can be done all week long. And the reason for that is that the first time we do a practice, we may be paying more attention to the cues or looking at the camera, and we can't go quite as deep into the practice. So by practicing the same practice over and over, you can get deeper each time and take that deeper dive. And so if you're an experienced practitioner, you might find yourself doing this practice 3 to 5 times a week, maybe more. Or if you're more of a beginner, then you might only do this 2 to 3 times during the week. But you can revisit it as many times as you need to during this time. So I want to start with an opening quote that is going to set up our practice today. And it is from the Tao Te Ching. And the opening quote, "Names can name no lasting name. Nameless, the origin of heaven and earth. Naming, the mother of 10,000 things. Empty of desire, perceive mystery. Filled with desire, perceive manifestations. These have the same source, but different names. Call them both deep, deep, and again deep. The gateway to all mystery." So plenty to reflect on during this practice as you keep this passage from the Tao Te Ching in mind. Let's go ahead and get started by sitting cross-legged and just take a few full breaths to prepare ourselves for the practice. Place your hands on top of your knees and gently close your eyes. And just go ahead and begin to breathe silently, slowly, slowing down the breath, beginning to bring your awareness to your internal state and removing the external mind chatter of the day. Gently open your eyes, and we're ready for the practice to begin. Go ahead and crawl onto your hands and knees in tabletop position. Align shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Then you're going to crawl back slightly towards the bottom of your mat and crawl your arms forward into a puppy pose. Maybe you stay here or place your forehead all the way down to the ground. Take a deep breath in as you stretch your arms longer towards the front of your mat. And begin to take a deep dive into your yoga practice today.
If you haven't already, you can begin your Ujjayi breath by drawing the breath down from the navel up through the diaphragm, closing the mouth, and then exhaling through the throat.
Go ahead and begin walking your hands back. And we're going to sit in child pose. You can take your knees as wide as you like, pushing your hips back and crawling your hands forward, touching your forehead towards the floor.
And we'll just take a few breaths here. Go ahead and crawl your arms over to the right. Push up on your fingertips and stretch out the left side body. Feel that side of the body lengthening as you crawl your fingertips ever forward. And then walk back through center, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. You may feel a stretch right under your armpit, which is a good place to be if you're using the computer a lot at work. And that's your dominant side. You can really get into those muscles. And then crawl back to center. Snake your way onto your forearms and clasp your hands together. Make sure that your elbows are about one length of the forearm apart. Curl your toes under, bring your knees together, lift your hips to the sky, and crawl into a dolphin pose. Press the hips back. Rotate the shoulder blades down the back. And dive deep into the silence. On the inhale, shift forward slightly until you can almost kiss your tip of your thumb knuckle, and then shift back. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. Go ahead and drop your knees to the ground. And then come into a tabletop position. Look up and broaden your collarbones on the inhale. And then round your spine on the exhale. Inhale into cow. And exhale into cat. Back to a neutral position. Go ahead and press into your first downward facing dog. Maybe pedal out the feet. Wiggle your hips. Whatever you need to prepare yourself for our yoga flow today. Go ahead and press those hips back. And then walk gently towards the front of your mat. Take a deep dive forward over your thighs. Grasp the elbows, and we will hang in ragdoll. Maybe twist to the right and to the left, gently swaying in the wind. Go ahead and drop your hands to the floor. Place your hands on your shins as you lengthen your back and look forward. And then exhale, drawing all the way back down. Bend your knees slightly, drop your hands, and we'll roll up one vertebrae at a time. Take your arms all the way to the sky, look up, touch your hands together, and bend over to the right side. Once again, we've been here stretching out the left side body. Take a few breaths here. Come back to the center and we'll repeat to the other side, stretching out that right side body. Back to the center. Put your hands together in prayer, and as you draw your hands to your chest, you can chant one Om. Om. And now we're ready to begin our sun salutations. Draw the hands up overhead on the in-breath, and exhale, dive forward, bending your knees. Straighten the legs, fold deeper, then draw the chest forward, doing a halfway lift. Step back, right foot and then left foot this time. You can lower your knees as you lower your chest towards the ground and then scoop up into a cobra. Take one breath here and exhale. Curl your toes under and press back to downward facing dog. Take one breath here. And as you exhale, stretch those hips back and then walk to the top of the mat. Fold over your legs. And then a halfway lift. Folding again. Ragdoll your way up, one vertebrae at a time. Bring your hands to touch overhead and take another Om as you draw your hands to your heart. Om. Okay, let's get ready to move. One breath per movement. Inhale, draw your arms overhead. Exhale, dive down deep. Inhale, chest out, collarbone spread. Step back, left foot this time. Your version of chaturanga to your version of cobra or up dog. Tuck your toes and draw your hips back. Move forward into plank. And then press back into down dog. Walk your hands forward. Stretch your heart out. And then release down to the ground. Rolling up one vertebrae at a time as you draw your hands overhead and bring your hands to the heart. Inhale, up to the sky. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, step to plank. Inhale all the way down, scooping your chest forward, spreading your collarbones. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Go silent, go deep. Draw your right leg up towards the sky. Bend and move it and stack your hips. And then bring that knee around all the way out to the side, almost touching your elbow. And then gently draw it back. Again, on the inhale, draw the knee over towards your elbow. Exhale, bring it back. One more time. Inhale, bring it over. And exhale, bring it back. Then go ahead and straighten your leg, toes pointing down. Step through. Align your knee over your ankle. Slight bend in your left knee. Draw up into a crescent pose. Grab your left wrist as you gently pull over to the right side. Inhale back up to top. Place your hands down, step back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga, scoop through, chest high, and press back to down dog. Now I'll switch to the other side. Raise your left leg, open your hip, bend that leg. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. And then draw your left knee over towards your elbow. And then back on the exhale. Inhale. Draw the knee towards the elbow. Exhale. Draw it back and open your hip. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Draw it back. Straighten your leg. Point your toes down. And step it through. Align your knee over your ankle. Lift your heart. And rise up into crescent pose. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and gently pull over to the side. Inhale back up and exhale to your plank pose, chaturanga, your version, and scoop up to cobra or up dog. Exhale back to down dog. Take a deep breath in and lion's breath out. Stick out your tongue. And we'll repeat that a few more times. One breath, one movement. Raise your right leg towards the sky and draw that right knee towards your elbow. And exhale to the top. Right knee towards the elbow. Exhale back. One more time. Inhale towards the elbow. Exhale back. Straighten the leg and step through. Take one moment here. Inhale all the way up. Grab the left wrist and pull over to the side. And inhale to the top. Place your hands down on the mat. Step back into plank, lower to chaturanga, cobra or up dog, and exhale to down dog. Take a few breaths here. And lift your left leg up to the sky. Open that hip. And inhale, elbow to knee. Exhale, drawing it back. Inhale, elbow to knee. Exhale, drawing it back. One more time, inhale, elbow to knee. Exhale, open your hip. Then straighten your leg, pull it through. One breath here. Rise up to crescent pose. Grab your right wrist and pull over towards the left side. Inhale back to top. Lower your hands down. Step into plank. You could lower your knees. As you go down chaturanga, lift your heart. And then press back, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Press your hips towards the back, lengthen out your arms, and jump, hop, skip, or walk gently forward towards the top of your mat. Flat back, heart pulls through. And bow down over your legs. Round up towards the top. Hands together and draw them into your heart. Drawing your hands once again overhead. Bow down over your legs. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step the right foot back. Lower the knee. Make sure your knee is aligned over your ankle. Draw your hands up for a low lunge. And just take a breath here. And on the exhale, pull your leg back and bow down over your leg. Let's flow this. Pull your arms up to the top. Maybe a slight arch in your back, twisting your pinky fingers towards one another. And on the exhale, draw your chest out over your thigh. One more time. Inhale, reaching up towards the sky. And exhale, draw your chest over your thigh. You could stay here, or if it's in your practice, you could begin to bring your leg forward into your version of the splits. Wherever you are is fine. Remember, you can rest in child's pose whenever you need to. Let's take just a few moments here. Look up, heart up, and then gently draw the foot back, curling your yoga mat. And place yourself back into tabletop. Draw your hips back to downward facing dog. And then walk, hop, jump to the top of the mat. Fold over your legs. Stretch your heart out, collarbones wide. And then take a deep dive down. Roll your spine one vertebrae at a time. Coming up to the top, hands to prayer. Take a deep breath here. And exhale. Draw your arms up overhead, stretching towards the sky, hands to touch. On the exhale, take a deep dive down into the mysteries of life. Pull your heart forward, chest forward, then step your left toes back, lower your knee. Adjust to your level of stretch. You could be here, or you could be forward slightly, whatever feels comfortable to you. Just make sure that your ankle and your knee are aligned. Go ahead and raise your arms above your head. Remember, turn those pinkies on your fingers together. And then we're going to bow down over our legs, stretching back. On the inhale, rise up. And on the exhale, stretch back. If your hip has moved to the side, bring it back to the center. Bend your knee and stretch up again. Exhale, bending over your leg. Forward, head to your knee or shin. You can stay here, or if you're ready, you can slide your foot out into your version of the splits. Wherever you are is fine. You can use a block under your hips. Draw your heart out. And on the exhale, draw everything back in
tabletop position. Let's just do a few hip circles after that deep stretch. So just begin circling clockwise in one direction. Exhale as you draw it back. Inhale as you draw forward. And then switch directions. One more time, circle around, and then we'll all meet in tabletop position, neutral pose. Walk your hands forward slightly. Press your hips up to down dog. Take a deep breath in. And exhale here. Go ahead and draw your right leg towards the sky, toes pointed down, stretch back. Bring it forward, step through. Place your left heel back as you windmill open to warrior two. Heart over head, head over heart, knee over ankle. And if it's comfortable for your neck, you can look out over your right hand. Shift slightly forward toward the front of your mat. Lift up and reverse your warrior. Maybe deepen the knee a little. Then lift back to warrior two. Place your elbow on your thigh. Reach your left arm towards the sky. Take a breath in. And exhale, draw the arm over the top of your head. Side angle pose. Let's flow this a couple of times. Draw back through warrior, going into reverse. And then through warrior, side angle pose. Inhale up and exhale back. And inhale. And exhale. Straighten your leg. Draw your arms out to the side. Maybe bring that back foot in a little bit. And then reach forward, stretch towards the top of your mat, and place your hand on your thigh, shin, or a block. Lift the left hand to the sky for triangle pose. Use this pose as a gentle resting place to dive deeper into the mysteries of life. Bend your right knee slightly forward. Place your left hand on your hip. Walk your left toes forward. Place your right fingers on the ground or a block as you shift up into half moon. Maybe you stay here, or you can bring that left arm up towards the sky. Plenty of places for silence in your practice. Lower your left hand back towards your hip, bend into your right knee, and open back up into warrior two. Take one more warrior to the back, and then we're going to cartwheel our arms down to the mat, step back to plank, lower in chaturanga, scoop your heart forward, cobra or up dog, and press into downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, and we'll do the other side. Lift your right toes towards the back.
Draw your foot through, lower your heel towards the ground, and cartwheel yourself open to warrior two. Reverse your warrior, draw towards the front of your mat, and bring your arm overhead. Let's flow this down into side angle pose. Place your left elbow onto your knee. Raise your right hand to the sky. And then draw your right hand over your ear. Twist your heart up. Maybe look under your arm if it feels good for your neck. If not, you can just leave your neck in a neutral position. And we'll flow back through warrior two. Reverse the warrior. And flow back through warrior two into side angle pose. Let's do this twice more. Reverse your warrior and draw into side angle pose. One more. Reverse your warrior and draw back down into side angle pose. Rise back up into warrior two. Straighten your left leg, heel toe your right foot in. Lean forward, stretching out towards the front of your mat, and then drop your hand towards the ground, your shin or a block as you raise your right arm towards the sky. Let's take a few breaths here as you tuck your tailbone under and rotate your right hip forward, opening up your chest. Look down towards your left foot, about 6 inches in front of you. Start to bend your knee. Push your fingertips to the ground or a block as you raise your right arm towards the sky. You can always keep it here on your hip if that's more comfortable. Feel your chest expanding towards the right. Breathe in deeply. And then gently bend that left knee as you step back and cartwheel your arms back open into warrior two. One last time, reverse your warrior and cartwheel down into plank, chaturanga. Lift the chest towards the front of the mat and then press back into downward facing dog. Let's flow this. One breath, one movement. Lift your left or your right foot high towards the sky, drawing it in towards the front. Left foot down. Cartwheel open to warrior two. Exhale as you reverse your warrior. Inhale as you flow into side angle. Exhale. Reverse the warrior. Inhale, flowing. And one more time, exhale. And inhale. Come up and inhale. Straighten your leg. Going down into triangle pose. Bend your knee, look forward. Hand on your hip or to the sky. And then exhale, drop it back into warrior two. Exhale, reverse the warrior. Cartwheel your arms down. Press back to plank. You can use your knees, lower down. Thrust your heart forward. And then press back into down dog. Go right to the other side. Left leg lifts. Draw your left leg to the front. Place your heel down. And cartwheel your arms open to warrior two. Exhale, reverse the warrior. Inhale, Flow over to side angle. Exhale. And inhale. One more time. Exhale. And inhale. And then right up to warrior. Straighten your leg. Reach forward all the way down. Triangle pose. One breath in. One breath out. And we'll keep going. Bend into your left knee. Hand on your hip or towards the sky. Right into half moon. Opening up your chest. One breath in. One breath out. Bend your knee. Drop back into warrior two. Exhale. Reverse your warrior. And then cartwheel your hands down to the floor. Step back. Setting up in your plank. And then all the way down. Chaturanga. Scoop your chest up. Cobra or upward dog. Press your hips back. Downward facing dog. Let's take a few breaths here. Make some space. Press back through your legs, through your hips. Walk, jump, hop, skip towards the front of your mat. Dive down deep over your legs. And then roll up one vertebrae at a time. Bring your heart, hands up and hands to heart. Let's move on to a standing sequence. We'll begin our standing sequence in tree pose. You can place your foot at your ankle, just below your knee, or just above your knee, depending on how your balance is today. You can keep your hands in prayer, or you can lift them up towards the sky, looking forward, shining your heart forward. Bring your hands back down to prayer. Turn your right leg towards the front, and then place it down next to you. We're going to switch legs, and then we're going to draw our left leg back into warrior three. That way we have plenty of energy for both sides. You can keep your hands together. And we're just going to bring our left leg up and down. So down on the inhale, up on the exhale, down, and up, and down, and up. Stretch out as far as you can. Bring your hands down towards the ground, lifting out of your bottom leg. Toes pointing down. Maybe drop your head towards your knee for standing splits. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lion's breath. Deep breath in. Exhale and place your foot to the ground, setting up for pyramid pose. Look forward, stretch forward, flat back. And then let it all go as you exhale. Draw your head down. Check in with yourself. If you need to bend your knees slightly, go ahead. Push into your hands and draw your left foot back once again. And place it next to your right foot. Stretch your heart out, flat back. Fold in, all the way down, deep dive. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Okay, tree on the other side. Again, hands to heart. And left
heel to ankle, shin, or maybe you can bring it up towards your inner thigh. Hands together in prayer, you can stay here, or you can draw your arms up towards the sky. Draw everything in and down. Oops. Lift your knee towards the front. Set it down. And then we're switching legs. So put your weight into your left leg this time as you draw your right leg towards the back for warrior 3. One side is usually easier than the other. Drop your hands toward the ground. Push into your fingertips or block. Slightly raise your right leg if you can. Maybe drop your head towards your knee. Lower your right leg towards the floor into pyramid pose. Stretch your heart out and then bow down over your left leg. Take a few breaths to deepen your practice. Look forward, move your hands slightly forward. Push into both arms as you lift your right leg behind you and step toward the front. Feet hip distance. Bow down over your legs. Heart forward, stretching long, looking up. Plant your hands, step back, and lower your knees to the ground. Go ahead and make your way up to standing on your knees for camel pose. First, go ahead and raise your right arm up towards the sky. You can do camel by either tucking your toes under or leaving them flat. I like to start with mine tucked. So first we're just going to take our right arm back behind us and tap the heel if you can. If not, you can always place your hands like this on your lower back. Now we're going to repeat with the left side, drawing the left arm all the way to the sky, circling it back. Touch your heel. If not, you could touch your shin or your thigh or your back. So many different possibilities for every body type. Okay, now that you know where you're going, we'll flow this a little. Raise both arms up to the sky and drop your right hand down. Go back to your own degree, maybe twisting in your heart towards the ceiling, looking up. And then inhale, drawing both arms up. Exhaling your left arm back, up towards the sky. Inhale, exhale, and inhale, both arms up. And exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale all the way up. Now you can stay here and leave your hands on your back. Or if you're ready, you can go ahead and bring both arms back onto your heels, thrusting your chest, opening your collarbones. I like to keep my neck tucked in.
And then we come back by placing our hands onto the back, lifting up out of the core, and then sit back on your heels. We'll go ahead and walk forward into a rabbit pose just to do a counter stretch. Place your head down toward the floor. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you reach your arms back. Maybe you catch those heels. And just breathe. Make some space in the silence. Go ahead and push back up into tabletop pose. You may want to take a quick drink before we go into the closing movements. So go ahead and stretch your legs out in front of you. Pull your right leg in so that your right foot touches your inner thigh. Reach your arms high above, and then fold over with a flat back towards your foot. Maybe you just stay here. Maybe you reach a little bit further. If you have a strap or a scarf, you can wrap it around your toe and hug in. Or you can bend all the way down and bring your forehead towards your knee, or just stay here in a flat back. Whatever your version is the right version for you. We'll just take some breaths here as we move into the more yin part of our practice. Take this moment of silence to open yourself up to the mysteries of life. And we'll be here for about a minute. Breathe in, draw your hands toward the sky, look up, and lower your hands to the ground. Press your knee up with your right hand, extend your right leg, and then draw your left leg in, left foot against thigh. Raise your arms toward the ceiling, look up, and begin to dive over your right leg this time, keeping a flat back. Your chest should be turned slightly towards that right leg so you're in alignment and you're not pulling on your back. And then dive to whatever you would like for your own stretch. I'm going to go ahead and grab my foot and I'm going to lower over, but you can stay where you're comfortable. And we'll be here for about a minute.
Draw your breath in, lift up from your core, arms reach high to the sky. Gently place them down. Draw your left leg in using your left arm. Place both out in front of you. Put your hands towards your hips for staff pose. Feel like the top of your head is reaching towards the ceiling. Straighten your back, lengthen from your core. Bend your right knee, bend your left knee. Move your hands back slightly. We're going to push up into upward table. Put your neck wherever it feels comfortable. Mine always feels comfortable a bit tucked in, but you could lean back if it's good for your neck. And lower your bottom towards the ground. Straighten your legs out. Lift your arms high to the sky. And on an exhale, drape yourself over your legs. Look up, look out. Widen your collarbones. Walk your hands back in. And let's go ahead and roll down onto our backs. Draw your knees into your chest. Squeeze and hug your knees as far as they'll go. Maybe rock side to side. Or do some circles with your knees in one direction and then the other. I find this feels really good on my lower back. After a deep practice, hug your knees back in one more time, and then go ahead and prepare for happy baby. Grab the inner or the outer parts of your feet, whatever you prefer. As you draw your knees down towards your armpits, gently pulling on your feet. And maybe you rock your happy baby, again massaging out your lower back. Draw your knees back into your chest and cross your right leg over left. Grab your ankles or your feet. Pull them down and towards you. And we'll just take a few deep breaths here. Release your hands from your feet, but keep your legs crossed. Bring them down to the ground, your left foot on the ground, your right foot crossed over. Scoot your hips towards the right as you drop your knees towards the left. Open your arms out to the side. Keep your right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade on the ground. Maybe twist your head to look over your right shoulder or keep it neutral, looking up at the ceiling. And we'll take a few deep breaths here. Take a deep breath in, using your core. Pull your legs back and hug them towards your chest, and we'll move on to the other side. Crossing left over right this time, grabbing shins, ankles, feet, whatever is available today. And rest silently in this pose. Release your feet. Place your right foot to the ground, keeping your legs crossed. Move your hips toward the left as you drop your legs toward the right. Open your arms out to the side. Maybe look over your left shoulder or keep your head neutral. As we take some moments here during this last part of our practice, draw your arms in, legs in. Uncross your legs, draw your knees towards your chest. Maybe rock side to side before our final resting pose. Reach your legs out, stretch your arms way overhead. Full body stretch, take a deep breath in, let it all out. Lower your arms towards your sides as you sink deeply into your mat, Shavasana. Take as much time as you need here. As you lay in Shavasana, I'll read the poem out one more time. Names can name no lasting name. Nameless, the origin of heaven and earth. Naming the mother of 10,000 things. Empty of desire, perceive mystery. Filled with desire, perceive manifestations. These have the same source, but different names. Call them both deep, deep, and again deep. The gateway to all mystery. Tao called Tao is not Tao. I thank you for your practice today. Stay in Shavasana as long as you need to. Namaste.